The Galactic Council had watched humanity for 300 years. They had studied their art, their music, their strange habit of keeping animals as companions. They had noted how humans smile at strangers and built hospitals for the sick. The Council had classified Earth as a Category 7 world. This meant peaceful. This meant harmless. This meant no threat to anyone. Ambassador Krelvos of the Verithian Empire stood before the council chamber. His 4 eyes swept across the gathered representatives from 200 worlds. His voice carried the weight of absolute certainty when he spoke. Humans are soft creatures, he declared. They cry when their offspring are harmed. They mourn their dead for years. They cannot even consume raw meat without becoming ill. The Verithian Empire proposes immediate annexation of Earth and its 17 colony worlds. Their resources will serve the Empire well. The council members murmured among themselves. Some nodded in agreement. Others remained silent. None objected. Captain Elena Vasquez received the transmission aboard the research vessel Horizon. She was a small woman with gray streaks in her dark hair. A crew of 42 scientists and engineers looked to her with worried eyes. The message was clear. Surrender or face extinction. Elena read the demands 3 times. Then she laughed. Not a nervous laugh. Not a frightened laugh. It was the deep, knowing laugh of someone who understood something others did not. Send a reply, she told her communications officer. Tell them we need 72 hours to consult with Earth Command. The Verithian Fleet Commander granted this request. What difference would 3 days make against a species that had never fought a single interstellar war? On Earth, the message reached the Global Defense Council within minutes. Admiral James Chun read it aloud to the assembled military leaders. The room fell silent when he finished. Then General Sarah Okonkwo spoke. They think we are peaceful because we choose peace, she said. They have confused restraint with weakness. Admiral Chun nodded slowly. His fingers moved across a control panel. Hidden protocols activated across human space. Files that had been sealed for 2 centuries unlocked themselves. Wake the Guardians, he ordered. Across 17 worlds, something stirred. Deep beneath mountain ranges and ocean floors, facilities that had never appeared on any public record began powering up. Ships that had been sleeping in asteroid fields came alive. Soldiers who had been living ordinary lives received coded messages on devices they had carried since childhood. The Verithian fleet arrived at the edge of human space exactly 72 hours later. Commander Thexril counted his ships with pride. 800 warships. 2 million soldiers. Enough firepower to glass a dozen worlds. His sensors detected the human response. 47 ships. Most of them appeared to be civilian vessels hastily armed with basic weapons. Dexral felt almost embarrassed for them. Open a channel, he commanded. I want to give them one final chance to surrender with dignity. The view screen flickered. A human male appeared. He wore a simple gray uniform with no visible rank insignia. His face was calm, almost bored. I am Admiral Chun of Earth Defense. You have entered restricted space. You have 72 seconds to withdraw. Dexril's 4 eyes blinked in confusion. You threaten us? With 47 ships against 800? Human, your species truly does not understand warfare. Admiral Chun smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. 72 seconds, he repeated. 58 now. The transmission ended. Dexrol ordered his fleet forward. This would be the shortest war in galactic history. Then the universe changed. Space itself seemed to fold. Where there had been 47 human ships, there were now 4,000. They did not arrive through normal means. They simply existed where they had not existed before. Each vessel was black as the void between stars. Each one moved with precision that should have been impossible. Dexrol's tactical officer made a sound of pure terror. The readings made no sense. The human ships were outputting energy signatures that exceeded anything in the Vorithian database. Their weapons were already locked on every Vorithian vessel. "This is impossible," Dexrol whispered. Our intelligence said. The first wave of human attacks ended the sentence for him. Across the galaxy, the battle lasted exactly 14 minutes. 783 Vorithian warships were disabled. Their weapon systems melted. Their engines died. Their shields collapsed like paper in a hurricane. Not a single Vorithian died. This terrified the survivors more than anything else could have. The Galactic Council received the news in stunned silence. A species they had dismissed as harmless had just defeated the third most powerful fleet in known space. They had done so in minutes. They had done so without killing a single enemy combatant. High Chancellor Morvex demanded an explanation. Human Ambassador David Webb stood before the council with his hands clasped behind his back. He was a thin man with kind eyes. He looked exactly like what the council had always believed humans to be. Gentle, civilized, harmless. "You want to know how we did this?" Webb said. It was not a question. 200 representatives leaned forward in their seats. Humanity discovered faster than light travel in the year 2089 of our calendar, Webb continued. We detected alien civilizations shortly after. We watched you. We learned about your wars, your conquests, your empires built on the bones of weaker species. He paused. His kind eyes grew cold. We saw what happens to peaceful species in this galaxy. We saw the Velthian people enslaved. We watched the Korath driven to extinction. We witnessed the Pale Crusade destroy 17 worlds because their inhabitants refused to worship foreign gods. The chamber had become very quiet. So we decided to appear weak, Webb said. We built our warships in secret. We trained our soldiers in hidden facilities. We developed weapons you cannot comprehend and defenses you cannot penetrate. For 300 years, we let you believe we were soft. We let you believe we were harmless. We let you believe that our love of peace meant we could not wage war. Ambassador Krelvos rose from his seat. His voice trembled. Why reveal this now? You could have continued the deception, because you forced our hand, Webb replied. You threatened our people. You threatened our homes. We had hoped to never use what we built. We had hoped the galaxy might eventually become a place where peace was possible. He spread his hands. We were wrong. In the days that followed, information began to reach the galactic networks. Human military historians released carefully selected data. The galaxy learned that humans had been at war with themselves for their entire existence. They learned about Thermopylae and Stalingrad. They learned about guerrilla fighters and special forces. They learned about nuclear weapons and bioweapons and things humans had invented but sworn never to use. They learned that every human colony had enough firepower buried beneath its surface to destroy an entire invasion fleet. They learned that human soldiers trained from childhood in combat techniques that combined physics, psychology, and pure aggression. They learned that humans had studied every war the galaxy had ever fought and developed countermeasures for every known strategy. The Vorithian Empire sent diplomats instead of demands. They offered apologies. They offered reparations. They begged for peace. Admiral Chun met with Commander Dexrol 1 month after the battle. The Vorithian officer looked haunted. He had not slept well since watching his fleet become helpless in less time than it took to eat a meal. Why did you spare us? Dexrol asked. Your weapons could have killed every soldier in our fleet. Why show mercy? Chun poured 2 glasses of something amber-colored. He pushed one toward Dexrol. Because killing is easy, Chun said. Any species can destroy. We wanted to prove something different. We wanted to prove that strength does not require cruelty. That power does not demand death. Dexrol lifted the glass. He did not drink. You are more dangerous than any species we have ever encountered, he said quietly. Not because of your weapons. Not because of your technology. You are dangerous because you choose when to fight and when to show mercy. You control your own violence. You decide when death serves purpose and when it does not. Chung nodded. That is what 300 years of pretending to be weak taught us. We learn patience. We learn to think before we act. We learn that the greatest warriors are those who never need to fight. The galaxy adjusted to the new reality slowly. Some species feared humanity now. They built alliances against the humans, tried to develop weapons that might challenge Earth's hidden arsenals. They all failed. Other species saw opportunity. They approached humanity as allies. They sought protection. They hoped that these strange soft creatures with their hospitals and their poetry might shield them from the empires that had threatened them for millennia. Earth accepted these alliances carefully. They helped defend the weak. They negotiated treaties between former enemies. They used their power not to conquer, but to create something the galaxy had never seen before. Lasting peace. Captain Elena Vasquez returned to her research vessel after the crisis ended. Her crew looked at her differently now. They had seen classified files. They knew she had been more than a simple researcher for her entire career. Did you always know? Her first officer asked. About what we really were? Elena looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, species that had once seen humanity as prey now understood the truth. Humanity was not prey. Humanity had never been prey. They had simply chosen to act like it. Every human knows, she said softly. Deep down, every single one of us knows what we are capable of. We carry the memory of every war our ancestors ever fought. We carry the knowledge of every weapon our species has ever created. We are not peaceful because we lack the ability to destroy. We are peaceful because we choose to be. Because we know what happens when we stop choosing peace. Her first officer was silent for a long moment. And the rest of the galaxy knows this now. Elena nodded. The universe gasped when they saw our true strength. But I hope they also understood our true message. We could have killed millions. We could have burned their worlds. We could have made them fear us through terror and destruction. Instead, we showed them mercy. We showed them that strength can be gentle, that power can be kind. She turned away from the stars. That is the real secret humanity has been hiding. Not our weapons, not our technology. The real secret is that we have learned to control what other species cannot. We have learned to control ourselves. And that is more terrifying than any weapon we could ever build. The galaxy remembered this lesson. In the centuries that followed, species that had once conquered and destroyed began to change. They saw what humanity had built. They saw that peace could be maintained through strength. They saw that mercy did not require weakness. And slowly, very slowly, the universe began to heal.